Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Amy Arner. I am so thrilled you are here. If you are new, welcome. And if you are coming back, thank you for being here. I am so thrilled. If you have been feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and not quite honestly feeling like a fraud in your motherhood journey so far, you are in the right place and this video is for you. Today I want to talk about 3 things that your motherhood journey could be trying to show you. 3 reasons why motherhood could be the greatest and most transformative chapter of your life. Not just because of the beautiful children that you have, not because of the family that you're creating, but because of the mirror that motherhood is, in reflecting back to you everything that is keeping you from stepping into the alignment that you truly crave. Before I get into what these 3 things are, I really want to give you a little background. Motherhood really was where my spiritual awakening, my self-development, and just my true alignment really took off. Leading up until motherhood, I thought I was doing all of the right things, focusing on my physical health. I was reading some personal development. What I thought, very consciously aware of where it was that I needed to focus on. I knew I had, insecurities. I knew that I was an anxious person. I knew that I had just a lot of, in general, feelings of feeling unworthy. I didn't want to carry this into my motherhood journey, so I was working really hard, like I said, trying to just be very consistent and working on myself. But when I became a mother, it was so defeating. I felt like I had been working so hard and it just wasn't enough. Feelings of anxiety and resentment all resurfaced again. What I didn't know at the time was that all was leading me to discovering my true purpose in this life, because all frustration comes from unfulfilled desires. What was really hard for me to recognize at the time was that it was not wrong that motherhood didn't complete my life. Once I became a mother, that it didn't magically make me feel completely fulfilled, because there was more within me that was dying to be recognized, dying to step forward. And what happened was, when I became a mother and I was suddenly responsible for this little being in front of me, I could see the innocence, and I could see the purity, and I could see the just limitless potential of this being, and how, without a care, babies they just believe. They just are pure love. And it really reflected back to me where it was that I had stopped caring about myself in that way, where I had stopped treating myself as such, where I had stopped believing in the limitless potential of my life because of the shoulds, because of my family, because of culture, because of society, because of this toxic masculine culture that we have all been raised in. And it really, that resentment, that bitterness, that frustration, all was truly, it was all a sign of what was needing to be healed and what was needing to come up and be seen and brought to my awareness. And that was really hard to navigate on my own. And that's why I am creating this video for you today, because my love, you are the most perfect person to be your child's mother, but you are also so much more than just that child's mother. You are the only one of you, and you were sent to this earth with a purpose, a unique purpose, with unique gifts, a unique perspective, a unique light, a unique aura that only you have within you. No one else will ever have what you have. And it is up to you to fulfill your deepest and truest desires. But what's really getting in the way here, that's causing the frustration and the bitterness and the anxiety that is coming up within you at this time, is because there's some way, shape, or form that you aren't giving yourself that recognition, or you aren't allowing yourself to be seen, and you might not even know who that really is. And so that is a lot of what my journey has been about, is really about peeling back the layers of everything that isn't me. Every belief, every habit, every story that I have been living by that is actually just something that I picked up from someone else's belief, something that was projected onto me, something that I created in result of a really painful, traumatic event in my life. And that's what we don't always recognize. That's what we can't always see in the moment. When we're younger, we're sponges. Up until 6, 7 years old, we're literal sponges of our reality, of our external reality, picking up what's around us. And that is where that immense power and responsibility comes as parents. The fact that we are the ripple, that we are the ones that are creating that ripple effect of what is going to be absorbed and passed on. But we all get the choice to keep or discard. And that is something that I didn't know when I was younger. And that's something that we're not taught, which is why I want to empower you with this today, that you get the choice. You get the choice to choose what it is that you no longer are going to subscribe to, what you no longer want to be a part of your story. As a mom, as a wife, a partner, a business owner, whatever career field you work in, if you're a stay-at-home mom, what is it that is sparking that frustration, that fear, or, that anger within you? Is there something that you're not allowing yourself to express? Is there something about you that you haven't pursued? Or is there something on your heart that you haven't, given yourself the time and space to bring into your life or allow into your life, because you have adopted or taken on all of this pressure, these expectations, these responsibilities that truly aren't even yours? So that is the first thing that I really want to point out, is what is it that isn't even yours? What about your motherhood journey, or what about your life right now, is something that you didn't even decide to have in your life, but you allowed to happen to you, that you allowed to take control of how it is that you feel? Is the way that you are showing up as a mom right now, is that something that you just look to your mother or your grandmother, or look to other people and thought, that's how I need to be, and so that's how I am? Or is that something that you feel called to do? Intuition is guiding you to show up, because if it's not, then there's the disconnect. If you are ever doing something out of fear, out of lack, out of feeling like you should, then that's immediately overpowering and blocking the guidance of your true intuition, of your true self, because you're not moving from you, you're moving from something outside of you. And whenever we are making a decision, or making doing any sort of action driven by an external force, it's always going to lead us off course. And we're always going to end up feeling with that feeling of like, this isn't it. This isn't what I truly wanted. I'm not fulfilled. There's always going to be that void that we're going to continuously try to fill. And we're going to be striving for control in all of these other areas, because we feel so incredibly out of control in our present reality. That leads me to number 2. Where is it that you are worrying or stressing about the past or the future? What where are you draining your energy, your precious life force energy, stressing about things that haven't happened yet or that have happened in the past? Because when we take ourselves out of the present moment, when we worry about how we're going to figure something out, or we have those intuitive hits, those intuitive nudges, those ideas that come through that feel really good, and then we get caught up into our mind and into our fear and into our ego, worrying about, well, gosh, how am I ever going to do that? I don't have a babysitter. I don't have support. I don't have money. I don't have this. Every time we get out of the present and we get into that worrying, we are essentially taking ourselves out of our power. We are disempowering ourselves. That right there, we're taking ourselves out of our feminine, and we are putting ourselves into our wounded ego. And the thing that I've had to learn is that that's really robbing me. It's robbing me of the peace and the stillness, the patience that I truly desire to be as a mom in this season and chapter of my life. I want to be present with my kids. I want to feel at ease and like I can truly relax when I'm sitting on the couch or going to bed at night. I don't want to be worrying about the next day or the next month or the next few months. I want to be in the here and now. But when I'm living from this place of expectation, of shoulds, of fear, of lack, of scarcity, then I am always driven out of the present, because I don't believe that what I am and what I have right now is enough. I don't believe that who I am and what I have right now is enough to figure it out. And that is where we get into our wounded, masculine, into our wounded feminine, because we don't inherently believe that who we are is savvy enough, smart enough, abundant enough, skilled enough, or deserving enough to actually have what it is that we say that we want, what we have decided that we want. That leads me to number 3. The third thing that could really be coming up in your motherhood journey that is actually here to serve you, is what are the beliefs that are swirling around in your brain on a day-to-day basis? What are those negative thoughts, those recurring phrases? I'll give you an example. One of the things that I would find myself repeatedly saying in my head day in and day out is, I hate doing this. I hate this. And what I started to do is I started to pay attention. What were the moments that this thought was coming into my brain? And what I found was that it was oftentimes when I was unexpectedly or last minute left alone with both of my children. AKA, it's been a long day. And my husband is coming home. I work full-time from home, and would be like at the end of a day, and my husband was all of a sudden tell me that he's not going to be home from work when I'm expecting him to. And, at that time, it would trigger me into this lack mentality, into this I have to do everything myself mentality. And what would come from that was this bitterness, this resentment of like, I hate this. I hate doing this. I hate feeling like I have to work all day, take care of the kids, and juggle everything. Essentially, what I was saying without saying it was that I felt like I needed to do everything myself, and I hated it. And what I realized, after a while of recognizing this, that this was leading to arguments, this was leading me to feeling stressed out and bitter and impatient and frustrated with my children. And it was coming from this place of feeling like a victim, because I felt like this was happening to me. Instead, what I had to do was shift my perspective to see these situations where these negative feelings were coming up, that they were actually happening for me. So what I started to do was pay attention to those moments, those situations when this was happening. And instead of letting it spiral me down into this wormhole of anger and bitterness and resentment, I chose to become aware and curious about those feelings and not attach myself to them. And what I allowed myself to do was express them. I allowed myself to, in a calm, compassionate way, express them out loud, first to myself and then to my spouse, to let him know that, hey, this is really draining me. This is really starting to get really frustrating. And I recognize that it's coming from this place. It's coming from the fact that I'm feeling overwhelmed and burned out, feeling like I'm needing more space and support. So opening up that discussion allowed me to take a proactive approach to this cycle, to this feeling that was recurring and causing me pain, causing me suffering, and causing me to show up in a way that I didn't want to truly be, right? As a mother, as a wife, as a person. And instead, really get honest and communicate and advocate for myself what it was that I was really needing and really desiring, which was more help, more support. It was not my husband's fault. My husband wasn't doing this to me. The world wasn't doing this to me, but it was using that situation as a mirror to reflect back to me, hey, Amy, this is, you're not giving yourself something that you're needing. And we're going to keep putting situations like this in your path until you step in and be the advocate for you that you are needing to be. Because we see your heart, we see what's going on inside, and you're not honoring it. You're taking everything on. You're still working from this belief that's no longer serving you, that you are the mom and you are the wife, and therefore you are responsible for everyone and everything. And that is just not true. That doesn't align with the woman and the wife and the mother and the business owner and the person that I truly say and desire to be. Okay? So those are 3 things that I would start to look into within your day-to-day life right now. How this motherhood chapter of your life is actually expanding you and actually happening for you. Because I know exactly what it feels like to feel like a fraud and to feel like how crazy is it that I'm here, and it feels like you're being ungrateful. But the truth is that you recognizing these feelings, mama, are so incredibly courageous and important. And I actually want to take a moment to commend you, because the fact that you're even becoming aware of this means that you are already disrupting that ripple effect into something that is so much more empowering and so much more impactful in a positive way for everyone around you. We all impact one another. As a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a X, Y, and Z, insert the blank. But we really have to learn to detach ourselves from other people, in the sense that we are not responsible for other people's happiness. We are only responsible for our own. And the best thing that we can do for each other is to take ownership of our own mess, of our own pain, of our own frustrations, and to start fulfilling our desires. Because the more that you fulfill your desires, the more lit up, the more joyous, the more free you will feel, and the more weightless your life and your motherhood journey is going to become. So my love, I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that you learned something today, or you heard something today that activated or helped, enlighten you to something that maybe you didn't see before. And as always, I am sending you so much love. And before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to catch more videos around motherhood, spirituality, and alignment. My name is Amy Arner, and I thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.